So, good day everyone. This is Genevieve Grace Mila, and I am going to facilitate the report of Mr. Jeffrey Honor, which is entitled Fishery. So, as to what being defined from his report, fishery is an activity of or an area where fish are caught for commercial and recreational purposes. So when we say commercial, it is about catching fish in order to make a profit, or catching fish in order to sold it or sell it in the market. While recreational purposes, they catch fish in order to have fun or create a memory together with a family, friends, or relatives. So fishery also can be defined as a body of water or collection of fishing activity that had been agreed upon by countries or fishers. So you often have different fisheries for each type of fish or shellfish. This means that fisheries have different variation or have variation depending to its type, intention, or purposes. And for the types of fisheries, we're going to talk about that afterwards to this facilitating video. After discussing the definition of fishery by Mr. Honor, he also discuss or tackles the sustainable fishery. So when we say sustainable fishery, in summary, it is one that is harvested at a sustainable rate to ensure that the fish population does not decline over time as a result of fishing or fishing methods or practices. So sustainable fisheries, they don't use or apply negative practices or methods in fishing that could decline the fishing population. MSC, or the Marine Steward Council certified sustainable fisheries, must be scored highly against the three principles. So the first principle is healthy populations of target fish. So if the population of target fish is healthy and healthy in a way that is abundant, that indicates a sustainable fishery. So once the fisheries or the target fishes are being at a high level of population, then that indicates a sustainable fishery. So that's the second principle, healthy populations of fish. The second principle is ecosystem impact minimized. So in this principle, illegal practices or activities in catching fish must be avoided, such as dynamite fishing or using net that has small holes that can catch baby fish. In this manner, ecosystem will be minimized. Because once people are still continuing in doing the said activities, the negative, the bad activities in fishing, the life in the ocean or the ecosystem will be endangered, and it can't result to a sustainable fishery. Hence, activities such as dynamite fishing must be avoided to achieve a sustainable fishery. The third principle is good management. It is very important that in fishery, good management must be practiced, because in doing so, we can avoid destruction of the habitat in the marine life. We can avoid too much fishing or catching too much fish that can't sustain the fishery. In this third principle, good management in place, we can observe it through enriching or pagyamanin pa ang karagatan through planting mangroves, as what being suggested by Mr. Honor, because through planting mangroves, it will enrich the lives of the population of the fish, because mangroves are like the home or where the fish will populate or like mao ang ilaang pangitlugan bitaw para mas madaghan, para mas malambo pa ang fish population. So that's the three principles as to what being said by the Marine Stewardship Council to have a certified sustainable fishery. Now let's talk to the types of fishery, as I have been said earlier. So there are 6 types of fishery, and one of it is the commercial fishery. So commercial fishery is fishing for profit, typically selling their catch via auction or through direct trade. So this type of fishery is done in the market, wherein the caught fish is being sold or sell in the market to make a profit out of that caught fish. And so that is how the commercial fishery is designed, or how it is work. The second type is industrial fishery. So industrial fishery, this is typically large commercial vessels that catch a lot of fish. So this is what big company does. So they will use big vessels in order to catch huge amount of fish to make a product out of it. For example, the Mega Sardines company, so they are example of industrial fishery, wherein they use big vessels in order to catch a big amount of fish in order to make their product, which is the Mega Sardines. So they are one of the examples of who does the industrial fishery. Third type is the recreational fishery, as being defined people fishing for leisure and people on personal use who do not sell their catch fish. So by its name, recreational, it is where people do fishing in order to have fun or to enjoy together with their family, friends, or relatives. They don't intend to catch fish in order to make a profit out of it, but they catch fish to have fun, to enjoy their life, and to to catch fish in order to consume it for their own good. So that is what recreational fishery is all about. Type is customary fishery, or this means that applies to indigenous communities who have a traditional connection with the area, which is the sea, being fished, and is fishing for personal, domestic, ceremonial, educational, or non-commercial needs. So this type of fishery is intended for those indigenous people wherein fishing is already part of their life, or fishing is already accustomed to their life. So that is customary fishery. So for the fifth type of fishery, we have small-scale fishery, or typically small vessels that operate with many fishers. So obviously, this fifth type of fishery is this lower type of industrial fishery, which is the second type of fishery. The difference is that small scale fishery didn't work for a company and not use big vessels in order to catch fish. However, they work or catch a fish as a group. So in one boat, there are a group of people who work together in order to catch fish. So that is a small scale fishery. They also catch fish in order to make a profit out of their catch fish. So that's small scale fishery. For the last type of fishery, we have artisanal fishery. So artisanal fishery, this is typically fishing close to shore for local consumption. So this is a fishery which is very common to us. That is common for our locality. People catch fish for their own consumption. So for example, if you are near at the seashore, so your neighborhood who catch fish, they are the ones who are example of this type of fishery, which is the artisanal fishery. So that's all 6 types. That's all for the 6 types of fishery. After discussing the types of fisheries, it was also being discussed that in fishery there are good and bad fisheries. So it was being said that all fishers can have negative impact on the marine environment. While it is subjective, most would agree that good fishery is sustainable or practicing sustainable and well managed. Meanwhile, a bad fishery is one where overfishing and marine habitat are being distracted, or marine habitat destruction may also be taking place. It is not always easy to know if fishery is good or bad. So in order to identify that there are good fisheries, many fisheries voluntarily to decide to get certified to the MSC, or the Marine Sustained Council Fisheries standard, to demonstrate and improve their sustainability performance in order to navigate, to know that the way they fish, the caught fish, is good and not bad. So from this, I can say that all types of fisheries have impacts in marine environment. So to identify good fisheries are those who perform sustainability, wherein people don't consume or catch too much fish, and they perform well managed, or they practice a well management in the marine life, wherein people enriches the marine life by putting limitations, just like ban period. So ban period, it is being observed here in Bacolod City, Bacolod, Lanao, wherein there is 3 days in every month wherein the fisheries are prohibited in going to the sea to catch fish. This is to allow the fish to reach their population. So in order kanang dili madakpan, or to let the fish to lay eggs, or yes, to enriches their population. So that's how another example on sustaining the marine life. Meanwhile, bad fisheries are those who do activities that will endanger the marine life, that will cause marine life destruction. This is very wrong, because kita ra Japon mga katawhan ang maapektuhan if ever marine life is being destructed, because marine life are one of the areas or aspects, or areas wherein it provides us the basic needs, because fish are one of the basic food that we consume or eat. So that's how we identify the good and bad fisheries. So next we have the fisheries science, or the importance of fisheries science. So fisheries science helps to determine how much fish can be caught in a fishery for it to maintain the sustainability of fisheries. The fisheries science will be the solution to know what are the ways for a sustainable and well managed fishery aspect, so fishery area. So it enables to know either we overfish, the fisheries are overfished, fish to their limit, or underfished. They understand the fishery science understand how many fish there are, the fish biology such as size and age, and how many are being caught. They are the ones who navigate, monitor, study the marine life. So they are very important in this area, the fishery. Moreover, fishery science is important because they know what are the means of preserving and enriching the marine life. They know how to protect, they know what are the ways to protect and manage the ecosystem of the fish, or the population of the fish. With fishery science, marine life will not be in danger or reach to its limit. Report of Mr. Ono about the fishery, it also tackles the advanced fisheries surveillance technology, wherein it is very helpful in order to manage and monitor the fishery. So first, we have the satellite tracking vessels, which allows fishery managers to detect suspicious and illegal fishing activity even in the most remote parts of the ocean. So through using this technology, we can track the happening situations of the ocean. We can track who are the who are those fisheries who do bad activities in the marine environment. So those tracker managers will know the situation of the fishery. So that's how the first technology is being designed. And in last technology, we have electronic monitoring. So this is the use of cameras and sensors installed in onboard fishing vessels. It also changing the way fishery managers can observe activities at sea. So the same goes with CCTV cameras. This electronic monitoring are the cameras that will show the key happenings, the situation of the marine to the sea. This will also help to avoid the natural disaster in order to for the fisheries to avoid prone accidents, and also they will know if the weather is okay to be fishing. And yeah, so that's how the second technology is being designed. For the last part of this report, it was being tackled the main fishery stakeholders, which are those people who study, help, and improve the fisheries. So first we have the fishing communities. So these people are the ones who help to improve and manage the marine life. Second, we have fishing industry bodies. Then third, we have fishery regulators, the one who regulates the fishery areas. Then we have the government departments for primary industries. These are the people, the government that will back up or navigate or produce a rules in order to have a sustainable fishery. Then fourth, we have environmental NGOs, or the environmental non-government organizations who are willingly to help and improve the marine life. Then we have local government. So for example, we have the BIFAR, or the Bureau of Fishery and Aquatic Resources, wherein they are very active in sustaining the life of fishery. Then last, we have the research institutions, wherein they study and know what are the means and ways on preserving and protecting the marine life. So that's all for this report, for this facilitating video of Mr. Honor's report entitled Fishery. Hope you have learned from this facilitating video, and I once again, Genevieve Grace Mila, will say that hope you have learned. So goodbye.